Welcome, guys, to session 4. So, we're going to be reviewing some examples of if statements, if else, and also nested ifs. So, with this first one, we're going to be finding out if a given number is odd or even. We start here in the beginning and we have a preprocessor stream. We're dealing with output, namespace declaration, and we go straight into our main function. So, we define here an integer variable. So that's to store the number that we'll be asking the user. And then we're going to a message printout. So to let the user know that we're going to need a number. And then we're using cin to store that number in the n variable. Now this is where we get our first if state. So basically what we're doing here is we have defined two scenarios. The first one is scenario 1, where the number is even, or scenario 2, where the number is odd. Okay. And this is based on two conditions. So the first one is this one. So the if statement carries the main condition. If whatever is in here calculates or computes to true, then the first scenario will be played out. Okay. And then if this first scenario does not play out, so if this ends up being false, then the second scenario is going to play out essentially. So this is a very specific condition, and then the second condition acts almost like a catch-all type of scenario where it's going to catch everything else that comes and that is not true in the first instance. So looking at this here, we are actually using the modulus function. So n modulus 2, just to see if when we divide n by 2, are we going to have a remainder? If the remainder is 0, meaning it divides evenly, at that point, that means that the number is even. So we go into that first scenario. But if the remainder is anything but 0, then we know that that number is actually odd. So we go into the second scenario. And you can actually have as many lines as you want here if you wanted to. This at this point just starts from this bit here and just executes whatever is left until the next statement ends. But you could, in theory, you could add some brackets here and you could execute multiple statements within that if. So you could say, yes, it is even, right? So here we're actually printing out two lines of text, and this would all happen if that first condition is true. The same can be done for the second condition, or the second scenario. I think is probably the best way to look at it. You could add whatever you wanted here, really. So you're not just limited to doing one statement. You can actually do multiple statements if you make use of the brackets. Let's go back to that original code and let's just run it. So you can see how that works. There we are. So into the number, let's go for 2. So, that's even. Number is even. Let's try again. Let's go for 0. That's even again. Yeah. Let's try an odd number just to test out that other scenario. Yeah, there we go. Now, just to show you that, use the brackets. Let me put those back in. And let's go for an even number. See, so it's actually printed out both statements. I didn't put an end line, so as you can see, just added it onto it. But there it is. So that's your if statement.